Welcome to Federal Premium's Vital Zone. The hunt we're getting ready to go look at is one of my favorite places, Alberta, Canada. It's the middle of November. It's pretty doggone chilly. We saw an excellent buck on a morning hunt. That afternoon, we moved in position in hopes he would come back to the food source. Let's go to the hunt. Well, we got to the tree stand early in the afternoon. It was really cold. It was middle of November, somewhere between November 15th and November 20th, and that is one of the best times to hunt Alberta, Canada. The deer started coming out of the bedding area, working their way out to the food source right there. You know, saw a few young bucks. A lot of does were coming out. As I mentioned, you know, had a fresh snow, but we had seen one heck of a buck on that morning hunt, and he was an 8-point, but I can just tell you he probably weighed 250 to 300 pounds. We know he was a mature buck. In fact, he got in a fight with a really good 10-point and pretty much ran him across the river right there. So, you know, it was getting later in the afternoon. We'd seen a few deer, and then all of a sudden, you know, I caught a glimpse over there coming up the bank, and there he was. It didn't take long. Once I looked through the binoculars, say that was the deer I saw that morning. But he kind of came out. He was on alert right there, and he's standing straight at me. And that's not a shot that I like to take. But just watching the way he was moving, his muscles in his legs, I was watching the other deer. I was getting a little bit, and he was kind of smelling the air right there. I kind of felt like he might be getting out of there pretty quick. So I got a good rest right there. And as I said, this isn't my favorite shot to make because I prefer a perfectly broadside shot, but it doesn't look like it was going to happen. He was looking back in the woods right there. As I brought my crosshairs up, I wanted to put it right there in the center of his chest. I'm kind of shooting from the angle right there. I'm kind of coming in, you know, from the left side right here. The cameraman's way over to the right there. So just got a little different angle, but I want to make sure I got those crosshairs right there in the center of the chest, get a good hole, and I know that bullet, if it goes through there, it's going to hit some vitals. So let's go take a look at the shot. Now you just saw the shot. Let's do this. Let's put it in slow motion and see exactly where that bullet hits the deer. As you can see the red dot right there, that's exactly where the bullet hit the deer. Now let's do this. Let's go to Federal Premium's Vital Zone and see exactly where that bullet goes through the vitals. As you'll notice, this bullet's coming in from the left side right there. That was my angle, and it penetrated the front part of the right lung, got part of the heart all the way through the liver, and exited out the stomach on the left side of the deer, and this was definitely a fatal shot. Folks, here's a few tips for you on that particular buck that I just shot right there. I prefer a perfectly broadside shot, but I had to take this deer straight on because basically of his body language. He was telling me he was getting ready to get out of there. I was just watching the way he was reacting. I was watching the other deer out in the field, how they were reacting. Some of them were flagging, kind of going off. He was kind of looking back in the woods, and I could just see the muscles in his body right there, and it looks like he was just getting ready to whirl on me. So I've made this shot before, and I would highly recommend getting a good rest. You know, if you're in a box blind, get a good rest. If you're in a tree stand and you've got an armrest, use it. If you need a bipod or something like that, put it up in the tree stand, but be solid when you're going to take that shot right there. You know, and me being left-handed, I was coming into the left right there on an angle. I just brought the crosshairs up the center of his chest because I knew where the vitals were, and I knew it would be a fatal shot. But like I said, get a steady rest, watch the body language of the deer. You can make that shot. All right, folks, that's another buck, part of the Federal Premium's Vital Zone.